Well, hello, YouTube. Day number 2. Max Spearhead here with you. Don't know yet what we're going to talk about. Last story was the story of the back injury, which there's obviously a lot more to it. We can get into the depression, as was really hit by depression quite hard. Started really heavy just over, probably around June of last year is when it started hitting me heavy, and that's when my ex-wife decided she should take the children away, keep the children away from me, because they were so scared of me. Basically, what it comes down to is me and my girlfriend, now fiance, had a child together. My ex saw that our daughter, who she had been alienating from me, and I didn't realize it until she started pulling this crap. But what was going on is my ex-wife was alienating my daughter from me, by using, like, the dog needing to go to the vet, she got, basically something happened to my daughter to where we had a guardian ad litem, and to make it easy for my daughter, I said, look, let my daughter choose to come over if she wants or not, which was stupid. Instead of saying, here, we're just going to keep moving on, I'll get her on my normal days, she'll be just fine, I gave in to the old, let her come when she feels like it. Well, Mama used that to stop her from coming. And I'm not going to say stop her from coming, but she basically turned my daughter against me. Excuse me, I'm still dealing with the laryngitis. And it wasn't that my daughter was turned against me, it was just that my ex absolutely had to have my daughter there to help her. And my daughter felt needed more and more when her little brother wasn't there, because Mommy always needed her. So it became more of a habit of, Daddy'll see you Monday when I pick up your brother, and then on Wednesday when I pick your brother up from school, I'll take you home with me, and Tuesday we'll see you for a little bit after school. That was what it came down to, because my ex had talked my daughter's head into that Daddy couldn't get you to school on time, and you'd have to get up earlier, and which is all true. Yes, she would have had to have gotten up earlier, but that really isn't something that would have mattered to my daughter. She wouldn't have even thought about that. It had to be pointed out to her by somebody, and I blame the ex But the more I look at the situation, I have a feeling a lot of it has to do with the grandmother. But I'll never know who's really doing it. I just want, and I keep praying that, for one, I pray that my ex will find the Lord again. Two, I pray that my ex will see what she is doing is incorrect and is hurting our children. I am honestly too giving. Yes, at times I can be overbearing because when I get into an argument, I feel like I get backed into a corner, and then all of a sudden I gotta come out and protect myself. Which I'm starting to learn how to deal with, but I didn't realize that that's what I was doing until I went and I got help. When I went and got the help or started seeking the help is when I noticed how I could have fixed my ex's and I's marriage. But at the time I was young, dumb, and didn't realize what I could have been doing. Excuse me. I realized that I was working more than I was paying attention to my family because I thought that was the right thing to do. Because that's what I was taught to do growing up. The man was to support the family and yada, yada, yada. Now I'm going to grab water. Well, that's not how the ex wanted it. She wanted to be able to work, and she still wanted me to work, but she wanted to be able to bring home a paycheck too. And that's how it was going, but I thought in my head, my overtime and everything else, I was doing that manly thing and supporting my family and everything else, which I don't know. We were making it just fine. It's not like we lived a luxuriously life or whatever. Luxury life. We lived paycheck to paycheck. But I had a chance at making quite a bit of money where I was. By learning the job I was learning, which was a meat manager. No, the place I was working at wasn't the greatest, but it was a job. And I was making decent money there. I was making over what everybody's wanting minimum wage to be right now. So, I say I was making pretty good money. After our divorce, I continued to work there and ended up becoming a manager for another company, making quite a bit more money. And as soon as she found out that I was making quite a bit more money, she went right after that money. Which, whatever. I was making the money and I didn't care. It was to go to take care of my children, even though it wasn't just to go to take care of my children, obviously, because we were supposed to be 50-50, and it was weird from the beginning and a lot of it's my fault because I didn't take the stance. I was being pussyfoot. And along with being pussyfoot, I mean, I really kind of let her okay, this is going on here, this is going on here, and she kind of ran it and just let me know where to be. Well, I understand that I could have done more, and I didn't then, and don't now. I don't reach out to her because now I can't trust her. She's done some things to basically make me look like I am hurting my daughter, and there's no way in hell that I'd hurt any of my children. So yeah, needless to say, the mother's alienated my daughter from me, and now she's alienated both my daughter and son from me. I've got the pictures of the times that I've been with them, and it shows the smiles going away and just them becoming unhappier and stuff. And it's just miserable. Not just for me, it's miserable for them in ways, but I don't think it's yet affecting them as much as it could if I didn't stand and fight. And what I learned through all of this is that I was an alienated child growing up. Basically, I was told my dad left it when I was about 4 years old. He left and just never came back, is what I was basically told. I sporadically remembered him taking me specifically out of mom's arms when grandma and grandpa were at the house and putting me into the van, trying to get my sister and putting us in the van, but he only got me. And it was a brown van that we drove, and it had those locks on it that you could spin off, the plastic locks you could spin off, and it would be the metal screw like sticking out of the door panel. Those were the lock types he had, and he had those off, the screws off for some reason. And I remember us being parked in the Lake Orion Kmart parking lot down towards the end, and the cops surrounding the van and him reaching over, and I want to say it was his left hand he reached over with, because I think he reached across his body when he did it. But it may have been, I don't know, it may have been his right hand. He just reached straight across. But he slammed it down with force that it went into his hand, and I watched the blood splatter. And I remember that from a child. But that was the last I remembered of my father until I'd get sporadic memories of him loving Elvis. And then he came around when I was around, I want to say about 14, but I'm not positive. He came around with his new family, driving a van, but it was a black van this time around. And he had his new wife with him, his 3 daughters, and a cousin of some, I don't remember exactly what the boy was. We spent about 2 hours out by the picnic table, and then Dad packed up and left. And we were supposed to keep in contact, and for some reason we didn't. I don't remember why. Just didn't. But I just realized that was dad ever making the effort to come back. And this is questions I've got that I'll never get answers to. And we can talk about that in another story, how I lost all my parents. So yeah, basically I'm 40 some years old and I'm realizing I'm alienated. I'm an alienated child, and now I'm watching it happen to my children. And so because of it, I fell into a bit of depression that I realized I was going into. And I'm still fighting the depression. But yeah, man, it's YouTube. This is my life story of what's going on. I'm not doing it straight from A to Z. I'm jumping around. But that's what's going on right now. I mean, literally, I now haven't seen my children since, I think it was April 26th, somewhere in there. The ex-wife said I supposedly struck our daughter in the head or stuck our daughter in the head with something. I don't know. I haven't even found out. I've called the guardian of litem and haven't gotten a phone call back. Called my lawyer. My lawyer hasn't gotten a call back from the guardian ad litem. And instead of me emailing her back like I should have right then and there, I went to my lawyer, which I feel was silly because now I don't know what I supposedly did to my daughter that I'm defending against. And the funny part is she made sure the guardian ad litem told me not to be recording the children anymore because it could hurt them mentally. Excuse me, taking a drink of water, if you couldn't hear it. So yeah, this is a crazy story. I mean, my daughter back in 2016 was supposedly touched by my ex-girlfriend's oldest son. I believe he definitely touched her, but I don't believe that it was meant to be sexual or anything, but I'm not sure. The kid was 14, 15, and he had a low mentality. And my daughter was 9 at the time. So she became a victim of sexual assault. But on top of that, I just feel that her mother really pushed it and hyped it up and everything else, unfortunately. I could be totally wrong and I'd feel horrible, but I feel that that's what the mother did because that's what the mother is known for. And I believe that is why my daughter, I feel, says she needs her mommy, is because her mommy's the only one that can protect her. My daughter's going to need a lot of therapy. Her and I are going to need therapy together to hopefully build our relationship back. And now I'm probably going to have to try to build my relationship back with my son. I know it's going to be a long road ahead. But God doesn't put more than we can handle on us, so I don't know, YouTube. What else can I talk about? I mean, I could go on with that story. Could go on with the backstory. I've given you 20 minutes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it there, YouTube. I really appreciate y'all checking me out. Once again, doing this honestly just to get my story out there, and if anything ever happens to me, it is out there. My children can find it. My girlfriend, fiance, soon to be wife, mother of my other child, she could find this. Who knows? I just hope that somehow, some way, these videos make profit for my family, and then any extra profit go towards my little food pantry to keep helping the homeless and the people that are living paycheck to paycheck that need just that little extra bit of help at the end of the day, to help those children that are in need just right around the corner, that don't have the lunches, and they find this little cabinet and they just come and snack. Maybe that's what we'll talk about next time, YouTube. Catch y'all later on. Love y'all. God bless. Have a wonderful day, or night, or evening, whatever it may be.